What I have here are some Mk3, Hornby Mk3 sliding door coaches, and I've got some Hunt Elite couplings that are designed for this. And by the way, you've got the Queen Elizabeth pulling the Coronation Scott with Hunt couplings, but I've done a review on that already. Anyway, we're going to start with the worst part of my track. There's no point in showing it running around long lovely bends, because let's face it, mother-in-law could do that. Now, here you've got a radius 2 curve onto a radius 2. This is the tightest part of my track. So what we'll do is we'll start with that and we'll run it slowly. No point in going mad, because things can bounce over and hide things. Now these coaches are a lot closer than they are with the standard NEM couplings. I bought these, I thought I'd give them a whirl, and we're running around nice and slowly. I'm using a 73 because they're still very predominant on the main line, and they would indeed be used as rescue trains. And you can see here I am running really slowly. So if the doors are going to clip, they're going to clip, or sorry, yes, the doors are going to clip, the interconnecting doors are going to clip on the carriages. They haven't got time to bounce off, they're going to derail. Now, let's make this go a little bit faster, a little bit more of realistic speed. And here we are. And you can see there's no derailments, no issues. These are big long carriages. That's a radius 2 at the top there. That's a radius 3 it's coming into. Here it's coming into a radius 2 and a radius 2 curve point. Radius 4 coming out into a streamline point. And we'll go a little bit faster. And here we go. And I'm really testing this because I spent the money and the time on these, putting them on, and you can see, I hope that there's no issues here. Anyway, now what I've done is I've put one of these couplings on the 73. So everything is a Hunt Elite coupling, and here's a test pushing the carriages. This is a big test. So if you've got an HST 125 set and you're going to want to use a driving car to push the coaches, this is what you're going to do. And you can see, worst part of my track, you can see how tight it is. Really tight. Now on this radius 2, I can see on this track they're very nearly touching. Very nearly touching. That is really tight. Really tight. That is the limit. That is definitely the limit on this bend here. They are really tight. Just a millimetre off touching. So I would say Hunt have got this just about right, where you've got it on the limit. But remember, a millimetre is 3 inches in the real world. So what looks close on a model railway, I'm going to give it a bit more pace. Let's try and get this to derail. And you can see we're going around absolutely fine. But what I would call is a realistic speed. Anyway, let's put it on an easier part of the track, make it easier for it. We've given it the hard part. And here we go. And that's a lot better. You can see it's running better, it's a lot smoother. not even close to derailing, but these carriages are really, really close. Right on the limits. In fact, I can just see a slight judder at the top. But you can't have your carriages any closer than this, that's a dead cert. So where you've got it really tight, the carriages are very, very close. But they're running fine. And let's move it out of here and get it down the main line. I'm just going to leave it running because it's going to be coming through fairly quickly, so you can see what's going on. And here it comes down the main line, being pushed by 73. And I'm going to move the camera now. Okay. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it round the wall loop, which will be interesting. Oh, help me if I got it powered it up, wouldn't it? Let's power it up. I won't cut the video, I don't need to. Let's power up the wall loop, there we go. Now I've got that done separately so I can run trains on digital and analog. And here we are going around the wall loop. And I'm doing it pushing because it's pushing the carriages closer together. And you can see it's really simple. So what we'll do is we'll run it in the other direction. Simple stuff. Let's put it out on the main line. And you'll see it coming round at a good old pace. And I'll do a few more shots just to show you. Here's another shot of my Mark 3s being pulled by the 73. And here comes the Queen Elizabeth. Now, to be honest, with this track, with streamlined points, if something will not run on it, you've got a major problem. You really have. And you can see everything is running really nicely. And you can see it's all happy days, but let's be honest, big wide track with big wide points, you're going to struggle. You really are if you're derailing. Okay, I'm going to get the 73 to start pushing now. So we'll stop it here. Drop it gently, and here we go. There we go. Now there's no way that I'll be able to push these like this with any M couplings. They would ride up. Forget it, wouldn't happen. And you can see and we'll do another shot elsewhere. Okay, now to sum up with these Hornby Mk3 HST couplings. They do what they say they will do. You can see for yourself that everything runs fine. However, I've had a couple of derailments, 2 coaches, not the couplings, but because the back-to-backs weren't correct. Now, because you're running everything closer, your tolerances are a lot closer. With NEM couplings, you've got a lot more flexibility because everything moves around more. Problem with NEM couplings is you start pushing coaches rather than pulling them. The NEM couplings start riding up each other and you get mega derailments. You would not be able to do this, and I'll speed it up a little bit for you. No way with NEM couplings. Not in the month of Sundays. Now, this depends whether you have these. I suggest would depend on whether you have a model railway or a train set. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. If you've got loads of radius 2s and S-bends, you may struggle with these carriages with these really close couplings. They are on the limit on radius 2. I've shown you that. They are right on the limit. You may struggle. If your track is not correct, you may struggle. If you have a model railway with sensible bends, fantastic. Now, what I have got on my another HST 125 I do have is I've got the standard HUD couplings. Now, they are slightly wider apart and they are a lot more forgiving. So if I had a model railway with loads of radius 2s, tight spacers, loads of set track points. This is my personal view. Obviously you've got to try yourself. I would go for the standard couplings, the round ones. I've got them on my HST 125, they're fantastic. I've got them on my Brighton valve, I've done a video on that, they are superb. However, they are not as realistic as these, because the carriages are a lot closer. Now, on this Coronation Scott, I bought a mixed pack of Elite couplings, and I used the intermediate and the small to get the distance I wanted. Two of the small, or the close, I can't remember what they're called, the carriages were too tight due to the length of the corridor shrouds. The two long ones, they were too long. So I have one intermediate and one short, and you see for yourself in the background, you can see everything is running okay. And you're watching now, and this is absolutely fine. So yes, fantastic product, brilliant, you've seen with your own eyes. But if your track is really, really tight and not laid properly, you may have issues. It's not the couplings. I suggest that these couplings really, and they are really, really close. I'm looking now, and the carriage shrouds are just about brushing on this track. Just lightly touching. They are on the limit when you're pushing. Anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope this has been informative, this review of these hump couplings. Thank you very much.